clean.
I think I was there.
You might have been there.
Yeah, man, we had some good ass fights this year. And now, Crawford's about to fight.
Yeah, she's gonna fight Canelo. I just hope he's big enough. Hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him, because Canelo hits
have
so
preposterous power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andy Ruiz. You know that shield, that weird hand shield that they hold up for hooks.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is not for speed. This is just power. Just power." He's like, "Don't try to be fast with this. Just power." And you see him just,
After witnessing Canelo Alvarez's confidence and readiness during the press conference, Joe Rogan expressed serious concerns for Terence Crawford and urged him to consider pulling out of the fight. The UFC commentator was among those deeply impacted by Canelo's intense demeanor at the press event. Although Crawford appeared confident, Rogan felt that Alvarez's intimidating presence and focus would be too overwhelming for him when the two finally
Alvarez body shots. Like maybe there's a video we could look. He's got a beautiful one where he steps in and just rips that left hook to the liver. And your body just goes deep. And shuts down. It's the weirdest feeling, man. It's like your legs stop working, everything stops working. Your whole body just seizes up.
I've always felt like Crawford had a chance, but after watching Canelo in the press conference, I saw a completely different fighter. He has risen to the occasion in a way he never has before. It's as if he's taking this fight more seriously than any other in his life. Joe Rogan went so far as to call Crawford the underdog, hinting that things could get really ugly for the Nebraskan boxer on fight night. Crawford has always embraced the role of the underdog, but after this press conference, it's clearer than ever. At this point, only a miracle can save him. Everything seems to be stacked against him. Joe Rogan even suggested calling the fight off, though he admitted that was nearly impossible. "If I had my way, this fight wouldn't happen," he said. Canelo's aura and sheer readiness have drained every bit of optimism I had for Crawford.
would be gigantic.
I'm trying to make all-time history.
Right. That's the one that gives you going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I hear him now. You're too little. Canelo's gonna break you. I love the challenge. Let me pull him around once.
Both men have achieved remarkable success across 4 weight divisions, with Crawford entering the ring with a perfect 41-0 record after clearing out his competition and continuing to challenge himself. Although he has faced his fair share of criticism, Alvarez remains one of the best in the sport and is still its biggest star.
Sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right
You
now.
can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your home.
I'm taking them. And ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it. Come fight
And
now.
I know Turkey's in your corner,
I promise you.
but look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
It's a simple fact: when 2 great champions from different divisions face each other, one of them will have to step into the fight, knowing that a size disadvantage could be all it takes to separate 2 elite fighters. This super fight is no different. Even when the bout was first announced, Joe Rogan expressed concern over the fact that Terence Crawford will be moving up to weight classes to make it happen.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm
I
different.
see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You gonna see.
We'll
You know
see.
it.
We'll see.
We gonna
see.
see.
Having first found success in the lightweight division, Bud will now make the bold move from junior middleweight 154 pounds all the way up to the super middleweight limit of 168 pounds for this legacy-defining showdown. This weight jump is sure to be a major talking point leading up to the fight, especially given how technical Crawford is. His next opponent, Canelo Alvarez, is also a world-class boxer who has competed as high as light heavyweight. The size disparity was a central theme when Joe Rogan discussed the bout during a recent episode of The Joe Rogan Experience with comedian Brian Simpson. Having hosted Crawford on the podcast multiple times, Rogan expressed serious concern about whether Canelo's physical advantages might be too much for the smaller fighter to overcome. "I just hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him, because Canelo hits so hard, man."
Look at the elite of the elite boxers. To a man, to every one of them, they're disciplined.
Yeah.
And they stay focused. I'm so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez, because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing. And the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terence Crawford, forget about the 3 weight classes. I think he could beat Canelo.
I think he can too.
The idea of moving up to weight classes clearly doesn't affaze Terence Crawford, who has been pursuing the super fight with Canelo Alvarez for some time. By choosing not to take a tune-up bout, the agreed-upon timeline means that Bud will have been out of the ring for over a year by the time he steps in for what will likely be the toughest fight of his career. However, that layoff could also give him valuable time to adjust to the size difference and prepare himself for the
You and Canelo, what would it look like? What would it look like?
Come on, man. I know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it on the streets. I'm going to be against anybody. You ain't never going to say another man going to whoop me. So, you know what I mean? That's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara, you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different, no? It's different. But we don't talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing. So that's different, way different than the
Fans of
streets.
Joe Rogan's show were surprised to see him shift sides so quickly, especially after initially appearing to favor Crawford. Many believe that Alvarez, now fighting at super middleweight, would dominate thanks to his size advantage, considering Crawford has spent the majority of his career at 147 pounds and only recently fought at 154 pounds. However, Joe Rogan didn't think the size difference would be too much of a factor.
One dude that, like, I believe all he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying.
They tried to say that like Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful.
Joe Rogan, Crawford isn't as small as many people think. The UFC commentator recently invited Antonio Brown to episode 2286 of the JRE podcast, where he pointed out that the 37-year-old boxer has plenty of time to add significant weight before the fight. During their conversation, Rogan made it clear how excited he is about the upcoming matchup, saying, "You know why I'm excited, Terence Crawford and Canelo, that's the one." However, he also addressed one of the biggest concerns shared by many fans: the size difference between the two fighters.
And when he gets and he's also the best guy in the sport, switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up. You know?
Rogan said many people think Terence is too small, but he pointed out he weighed in the other day and was 185 pounds. He just won the 154 pounds title, and before that, he was fighting at welterweight, which is 147 pounds. It's not like he doesn't have time to put on a little weight. Despite Crawford's undeniable skill, a large portion of fans still believe he will ultimately become just another name on Canelo's growing list of conquered opponents. Much of this skepticism stems from the fact that the 37-year-old Crawford is making a huge leap in weight, and this time, he won't have the protection of a rehydration clause. However, Terence Crawford is widely regarded as one of the best fighters in the world, with a professional record of 41-0 and 31 knockouts. In his last outing, he defeated Israel Madrimov by unanimous decision.
He just knows so much about boxing, about where to be and what's coming, and
He's a strategist that's also entertaining.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
he's an artist.
I remember like a young B-Hop.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
just so sharp and made it look almost entertaining. You know what I mean?
Roy Jones in his prime. It was art. You were watching art. Piecing up people. It was an
The
art.
season kicks off with one of the year's most anticipated fights. Already heating up the Baker Al-Shidi Theater at BLVD City in the Saudi capital, the venue hosted the first press conference for the blockbuster showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. The Mexican superstar will defend his undisputed super middleweight title on September 13th in Las Vegas against the undefeated American who is jumping up to weight classes for the occasion. Also on the line will be the ring title, a belt valued at a record-breaking $188,000. With the fight set to stream live on Netflix, the tension between the two was palpable as they came face-to-face in a lavishly staged event. In keeping with the grand spectacle that has become customary for major bouts in the Middle East, Canelo's resume is brilliant. Over the past 20 years, he's fought everyone, and I don't think he'll allow Crawford the opportunity to beat him. This will be one of the best fights of the past decade, said Turki Al-Sheikh, who opened the press conference. Both fighters had dinner the night before with the Saudi minister, a key figure behind this long-awaited contest.
Going up and becoming undisputed against Canelo. Come on, man. I'm flying in the sunset, man. Thank you, boxing God.
That would be it.
That would be it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it for me. I didn't accomplish everything there is to accomplish in sport boxing.
Canelo arrives with a point to prove, following his recent win over William Skull, a bout that set a record for the fewest punches thrown. That wasn't a fight, it was a disappointment for me. I came to fight, but you need both boxers to want it, Canelo said. This is a big fight, and making history is my goal, so I'm fired up. He's a great fighter, but he's not Canelo. I've got experience, they just focus on my power, but I have much more than that. I think this will go down as one of the best fights of my career. I want to make history. Despite being a former undisputed welterweight champion and later capturing the IBF super welterweight belt, Crawford is not considered the favorite this time, largely because of the significant weight jump he must overcome.
Right. I'm saying, I started at 135. Okay? I'm just saying, like, say if Canelo was the champion at 147, to go up 168.
Right in one jump.
Yeah, one jump.
It's a big jump, too. 21 pounds. It's a lot of weight.
I'm going to win. It's that simple. No one tells me how to fight. I've been doing this my whole life, and I'm not going to run, declared Crawford, whose backward-moving, elusive style could present a challenge for Alvarez. But the Mexican superstar remains unfazed. Both men firmly believe this clash will be one for the ages. I asked for Canelo because he's a great fighter. He's faced guys like Mayweather and GGG mega fights, and this is my mega fight. This is my moment. That's why I wanted Canelo. He's one of the best boxers I'll ever face, and I'm going to prepare for everything, said Crawford. Alvarez responded from behind his collection of belts with a warning. He's not going to beat me. I believe this fight will go down in boxing history. I just hope he doesn't run. The fans deserve to see a great fight. I hope he brings it, because I know what I'm capable of, and I'm very confident in that. It's shaping up to be a night.
I gotta fight, I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight when I've been fighting my whole life. You know, I won't be running. You know, I can tell you that. I will be, you know, doing a lot of touching.
Get me wrong. He's a great fighter, like I say, he's no Canelo.
Ahead of their September 13th showdown, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford sat down with Piers Morgan for a lengthy interview, where Morgan posed questions about their upbringing, mindset, and physical abilities going into the fight. Both fighters were hesitant to dive into deeply personal topics such as Canelo dealing with his brother's kidnapping or Crawford being shot years ago, but they still shared their thoughts. When asked if Canelo held any advantages over him, Crawford replied, "Canelo is a great fighter, we can all agree on that. But I can't say another man is better than me in any area, because he hasn't proven it yet. I can't say if his jab is better than mine, because I haven't been in the ring with him. I can't say if his right hand is better than mine, because everything I do, I feel I do great."
It doesn't matter at the end of the day. We gotta fight, and I'm gonna win the fight. It's simple as that.
That's it. About if there's any rematch clause with the fight with Canelo.
No, it's not.
That's something you push for.
No, I didn't.
And there's any weight restrictions to the fight at all.
No, it's
I
not.
like that, because that's when you realize it's going to be a good fight. It tells me this is going to be a great one, and I love it. I enjoy it, Canelo said. He's a very skillful fighter. He may have certain things that are better than mine, but fighters judge me from the outside or beyond the ring. When they get in with me, they realize it's different. I have a lot of talent and many weapons, things they don't understand until they're in there with me. We're two alpha males who know what we're capable of, so we don't have to put on a front or a show. We're going to give the fans a great fight, and we both know it. When asked about his reach advantage over Canelo, Crawford responded, "It can be an advantage in some cases, but in others it can be a disadvantage. Canelo is very good at slipping inside shots at mid-range that could be his edge. So, I never assume that just because I have longer arms it gives me the upper hand. It can be an advantage on the outside, sure, but if the fight goes inside, it's about how well I can throw short punches. I'm well-rounded in every area."
Like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want to make his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
At just 155 pounds, Crawford was asked if he's worried about being smaller when the fight takes place at 168, and if gaining that weight could affect his style. "No, not at all," he replied. "We as fighters carry a lot of weight anyway. I'll just be fighting closer to one of my natural weights." Meanwhile, when Canelo was asked about those who still call him a drug cheat due to failed tests in the past, he responded, "People who don't want to believe won't believe even if it's true what I say, or the proof is right there. They'll still believe what they want, and I don't really care." Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel for more new updates.